Welcome to Sage Advice, where ancient wisdom meets modern science. I'm Karen Mallinger, the Herb Gal. Have you noticed something happening lately? People are getting tired of chasing the newest miracle supplement, the latest diet trend, or another expensive wellness program promising overnight results. Instead, they're craving something different. They're craving simpler, slower, more connected wellness practices. They're looking for things that feel real, things they can do with their own hands, things that connect them to generations before us knew what good health often starts in the kitchen, not in a laboratory. Kitchen herbalism isn't about replacing modern medicine. It's about reclaiming everyday habits that gently support our bodies before problems become crises. Today, we're talking about the return of kitchen herbalism, why it's making such a comeback, why it's still incredibly relevant, and how the herbs sitting in your pantry may be some of the most overlooked wellness tools you already own. For thousands of years, herbs weren't considered alternative medicine. They were simply medicine. Every culture developed herbal traditions because people observed what worked. Much of today's pharmaceutical research actually begins by studying compounds first discovered in plants. While we've gained incredible advances in medicine, we've also lost much of the everyday knowledge our grandparents took for granted. For most of human history, people didn't have pharmacies on every corner or hundreds of supplements to choose from. They relied on the plants growing around them. Every culture, from Native American traditions to traditional Chinese medicine to European folk herbalism, developed a deep understanding of local herbs because they had to. That knowledge wasn't considered alternative, it was simply common sense. Somewhere along the way, many of us stopped learning those traditions. We traded knowledge passed from grandparents for labels on bottles. We started believing wellness had to come in expensive packages instead of growing in our own gardens. Now, don't misunderstand me. Modern medicine has its place and has saved countless lives, and I would never suggest eliminating it. But somewhere between pharmaceuticals and supplements, we've forgotten that many everyday herbs can gently support our health long before we ever become seriously ill. The exciting part is that science is beginning to validate much of what traditional herbalists have known for centuries. Researchers continue discovering beneficial compounds in herbs like turmeric, rosemary, ginger, and garlic. The wisdom wasn't magic. It was careful observation over generations. I think we're seeing a return to herbalism because people are looking for something authentic. They want to understand their bodies instead of constantly outsourcing their health. Plus, this gives us more control over our health. Many things that we may have run to the doctor for can very easily and safely be taken care of at home with a few well-chosen herbs used regularly and integrated into our daily routines. Healing doesn't always require complicated protocols. Sometimes the smallest habits make the biggest difference. A soothing cup of peppermint after a heavy meal, ginger when you're feeling a little bit queasy, honey and thyme for a scratchy throat. These aren't miracle cures, they're gentle ways to support the body's own healing processes. Remember, simple remedies don't have to be simple minded. One thing I hear all the time is there has to be more to it than drinking tea. Actually, sometimes there doesn't. We've been conditioned to believe that if something is inexpensive, easy, or available in our own kitchen, it can't possibly be that effective. Yet think about how many medications originated from plants. Simple doesn't mean weak. When your stomach feels unsettled, ginger has been supporting digestion for thousands of years. Peppermint can relax digestive muscles and ease any discomfort. A warm cup of chamomile before bed doesn't knock you unconscious like a sleeping pill. It simply encourages your body to do what it was designed to do. Herbalism is not about overpowering the body, it's about supporting it. That's a completely different philosophy. Instead of asking, what symptom do I eliminate? We ask, what does my body need right now? Sometimes the answer is rest, sometimes hydration, sometimes nourishment, and sometimes it's a cup of herbal tea made with intention. Those little choices may not feel dramatic, but done consistently, they add up over months and years. Tea is one of the easiest and safest ways to introduce herbs into daily life. Unlike taking capsules occasionally, tea encourages us to slow down, to hydrate, to breathe deeply, and receive the therapeutic compounds herbs naturally provide. The ritual itself becomes part of the medicine. Water extracts different plant compounds than alcohol or capsules. Drinking tea forces us to slow down, and slowing down activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode where healing happens. Boiling water, inhaling the aroma, holding a warm mug, taking slow sips, the nervous system benefits before the herbs even begin to work because we're putting our body and our nervous system into that safe place we talked about previously. Some of my everyday teas are chamomile when I want to wind down, lemon balm for stress, peppermint after meals, ginger during cold season, nettle as a mineral-rich, nourishing tea. All of these can be made hot or cold. There's nothing my firefighter hubby likes better on a hot, steamy day than some nice, ice-cold peppermint tea. Maybe the medicine isn't just in the cup. Maybe it's in giving ourselves permission to stop for 10 minutes. Let's talk about what I call kitchen herbs. I teach a class on the medicine chest in your spice cabinet. Did you know that all the herbs and spices you use every day have medicinal value? It's true. I'll bet you used oregano this week on pizza or in your spaghetti sauce. Did you know oregano contains powerful antioxidant compounds? Or rosemary. We sprinkle it on roasted potatoes without realizing researchers have studied it for memory and circulation for years. I'm married to an Italian, so I use garlic in almost everything I cook. It's wonderful for building the immune system, and it's full of antioxidants. Every cold season, as all of our friends are hacking and coughing and having a horrible time, my husband and I seem immune. It's because we don't wait for something to happen before we reach for the herbs. We use them every day, and that makes all the difference. One of my favorite herbs for meat is thyme, but with that delicious taste, I also get extra benefits. Several studies indicate that thyme may act as a natural cough reliever while helping to promote better breathing and general respiratory function. So, especially in the winter, guess which herb finds its way into all of my stews and soups? Every garden in the UP is growing basil. It's a beautiful summer herb and an annual, so getting it fresh only happens here in the summer. Did you know that basil is a nutritional powerhouse rich in vitamin K, antioxidants, and essential oils? It provides significant anti-inflammatory and antibacterial effects. It also supports heart health by helping lower blood pressure and cholesterol. And it aids digestion by reducing bloating and gas. I julienne it to put in salads, substitute the leaves for lettuce on sandwiches, and who doesn't love a great pesto? There's no end to the ways you can use it, and the benefits are real. Okay, here's a quiz. Which herb or spice is a potent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and actually improves insulin sensitivity? Gold star for those of you who answered cinnamon. It is a medicinal powerhouse. Its top medicinal benefits include blood sugar regulation, heart health, including high blood pressure, reduction in total cholesterol and LDL, and brain health. Preliminary studies suggest cinnamon compounds may help protect brain function and delay the progression of neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. Don't laugh at the gal having cinnamon toast for breakfast. There are some real health benefits there. Your spice cabinet isn't just for seasoning your dinner. It's a small apothecary hiding in plain sight, and it's quietly supporting your health every single day. As an added bonus, I always have fresh herbs in little dishes on the table so people can experience them firsthand. This is also a great way to get your kids involved in making herbs a part of every meal. The biggest mistake people make is waiting until they're sick to think about health. When we get into the habit of herbs every day, it becomes part of a wellness driven routine that will benefit us for the rest of our lives. Here are some more suggestions. How about a morning cup of chai spice tea? Or fresh herbs on your eggs. I personally love tarragon on my eggs. Some peppermint after lunch. Lemon balm tea in the evening. Look at it this way. You don't brush your teeth once a month for 3 hours. You do it for a few minutes every day. Herbal wellness works much the same way. It's all about consistency. Health is built through daily habits, not occasional heroics. Instead of waiting until we're sick, herbs can become part of everyday wellness. Tiny routines practiced consistently often have a greater impact than dramatic interventions just used occasionally. I love how God provides us with exactly what we tend to need each season. Think about it. In spring, you have dandelion, nettle, and cleavers. These are all bitters. They're cleansing and they're nourishing herbs as we're waking up from the winter. Summer, all the mints, lemon balm, hibiscus. These are all cooling and refreshing in addition to their medicinal benefits. Fall, you have elderberries and rose hips, full of antioxidants and immune building, preparing us for indoor living and exposure to different bacteria and viruses. In the winter, ginger, cinnamon, garlic, and thyme, all warming herbs and helpful to our immune system as well as our digestive systems. So we are getting the most out of the foods we're eating. Working with the seasons reminds us that our bodies aren't separate from the world around us, they're part of it. One of my favorite things about herbalism is that it doesn't have to be expensive. A packet of herb seeds costs less than many coffee drinks. A jar of dried chamomile can make dozens of cups of tea. Growing a few herbs on a patio or windowsill gives you fresh medicine for months. And many of the herbs we love fresh can be brought indoors to winter over in pots. Wellness shouldn't only belong to people with large budgets, and it doesn't. I really hate how wellness has become so commercialized. We've all been led to believe we need expensive supplements, elaborate detoxes, complicated protocols, $80 protein powders, or dozens of pills, when it's really not that complicated at all. Sometimes expensive protocols are the answer, but more often than not, they are the exception. So let's keep it simple, sweeties, and grow our own medicine. Remember, the most valuable medicine isn't the most expensive, and it doesn't require a prescription. The return of kitchen herbalism isn't really about going backward. It's about remembering what we've forgotten. It's about reconnecting with food, plants, seasons, and simple daily habits that support health in sustainable ways. because sometimes the most powerful wellness practices aren't the newest ones. They're the ones our ancestors quietly practiced every single day. I don't think kitchen herbalism is making a comeback because it's trendy. I think it's making a comeback because people are exhausted. They're tired of being told wellness has to be complicated, expensive, or perfect. They want to feel connected again to their food, their gardens, their kitchens, their families, and ultimately to their own bodies. That's what herbalism has always offered. Not quick fixes, not miracle cures, just simple, faithful practices that remind us that caring for ourselves doesn't have to be complicated. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you've heard me say it before. This isn't rocket science, gang. Somewhere along the way, we've made wellness much harder than it needs to be. Now, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, the next announcement will not come as a surprise to you. Due to health reasons, we will be leaving Michigan's beautiful Upper Peninsula for the high altitude desert of Colorado. You've often heard me talk about your personal constitution and how everything you do affects it. Well, my hubby has a cold, damp constitution, and try as we may, we cannot make it work here in the UP, where winters are long, cold, and damp. He thrives in the hot, dry climate of Colorado, and our sons both live back there. So we will be moving back at the end of July. Nothing as far as the podcast will change, except I'll be talking about local plants and high and dry living instead of life here on the river. I have loved every minute we have lived here and will forever cherish the friendships I made here. Please go to herbgal.org and sign up for the newsletter. Also, you can subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, but it will always be available via the website as well. Classes will be both live and online, and consults will be live in Colorado Springs or via Zoom for those that don't live close. So I'm not leaving you. I'm just changing home base. As a military gal, this doesn't bother me a bit. Next week, we're going to tackle one of the biggest misconceptions in natural health, the idea that if it's natural, it's automatically safe. We're going to talk about herbal safety, drug interactions, dosing, and how to use herbs wisely and confidently. Because good herbalists don't just know what herbs can do, we also know when not to use them. I'll see you then. In the meantime, sit still. See what your body really wants. Are you craving something cooling? Are you stressed and just want to relax and shut your brain off for a little while? Your routine is your routine, and only you can decide exactly what that looks like. So listen to your body. Get out there in that beautiful sunshine and make some vitamin D, and let's all get better.